Hello and welcome to the Magical Boots 56th episode. We're going to talk about World Cup. World Cup is a couple of days away, and here I have Shudipta with me. Shudipta, we covered a lot of teams and a lot of things in the last, I think, 54th episode. Um, I hope we are going to do that. But just before that, there's certain things we might want to talk about. Is that the climate of Qatar and how we may see not so fast games probably because of the climate and maybe
Maybe the games when they are going to play at night.
it may be.
There's this weird timing. I saw first Argentina game at like 11 a.m. in our time, so that means like it's like really early in the morning in Qatar's time.
It's
So,
afternoon on Qatar.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
How come? I should actually check again. But what I'm trying to say, there will be some weird timing that
yeah.
in this World Cup. And I saw Argentina versus UAE game.
Uh-huh.
Um, it, I did not. Well, it did not seem like they are actually struggling because I guess they are used to be in the heat for.
Um,
I
eh,
saw the ball Messi. They played the whole 90 minutes, but it was not actually like they're fast in the last 20 minutes, I guess.
yeah.
But so far, what I've seen, like they were not actually struggling
I
for
saw a
heat.
little bit of Germany versus who they were playing. Oman.
Oman, yeah.
It was 1-0 and Germany was struggling. Uh,
Um, yeah, certain players I saw were struggling, but when once they have like these younger players, when they were in the pitch, they're not that actually much struggling. Like Mokuku, he was like flying probably. Havertz did not actually seem that much difference, I guess. But some older guys were playing like Gundogan was like catching his breath. uh, but yeah, it
this
will
will be the
be
first World
interesting
Cup.
actually.
There will be air
This
conditioner.
will this will be first of many, like many things.
Yeah.
So and yeah, everyone, some club coaches trying to talk about the timing of the World Cup, and I think Klopp was saying like players shouldn't have any opinion about it because it was up to the management. They decided to play World Cup in Qatar. They decided to play in um, yes, uh, in the winter, in the middle of the season. So players doesn't have any say in that sort of things. And there are some political statement, I guess, like the Dutch team or Denmark team trying to take some political message, but FIFA was not allowing.
No, FIFA doesn't. FIFA was saying that just keep it away for the moment. It's almost at
Yeah,
the last moment, right? So I
uh,
understand totally the politics.
and I'm not sure if we discussed that this Danish journalist was harassed in public because some guys, I probably showed you the video, like they were recording, like reporting from the street, and some security guy, it was like right outside of some building or something like that, and the security guy came in and he was telling him like you are not allowed to shoot any videos or any sort of things and stuff like that. And then like they were actually, the things got heated, and because the FIFA and Qatar officials, they have permission to shoot anything anywhere so far. And uh, and he showed it to them, and but they still things got heated, and this security guy was trying to break his camera or something like that, um, and he was like, if you want to break it, go go ahead, break it and stuff like that. And it was in the live video, so it was streamed. And at the time, like, and I saw his interview with ESPN, and he was saying like, yeah, you cannot pretend what he was trying to say. Like he was saying like, basically, you cannot pretend what you are not. You know, like they probably has these rules, like you cannot like take videos in certain places and certain times. Probably all of Qatar, we don't know, and now they are trying to behave in a different way, and he thinks like this guy is doing his like job 365 days, so um, he knows about these rules, you know. So you cannot actually behave for that was interesting, also like a little bit sad for him. Uh, like players, like some were talking like World Cup should be arranged in like footballing nations, like what we have seen in Brazil and stuff like that. Uh, so
But there's no point on that. I mean, World Cup should be World Cup, and it's decided 10, 12 years back. And if you have seen certain reports coming out in 2014, 15, FIFA is the one who should have stopped it, or there should have
yeah,
been enough pressure from the association, the members. That was not there. So crying right now, I don't know.
yeah, it's almost like another point, and it's already been like 6 months late. You know, normally we have like a Confederations Cup, and then we have World Cup and stuff like that. And
Confederation Cup doesn't happen anymore from last 2018, right? So that's been abolished.
yeah,
Um, but my point is, it can happen in mid. I mean, I'm saying we can see in future. It can happen again in November, December. It can happen. Say, for example, if it happens in South America, their summer is, or Australia, their summer is in more towards December, January, right?
yeah. Also, like, mm, yeah, some places in South America, there, if you remember Brazil World Cup, because some places were
Areas,
like in the
Amazon,
southern
and
hemisphere. Yeah,
exactly. And some places were hot, some places were not hot.
yeah,
So yeah, that's my point. I mean, and given the climate change, you never know
yeah,
summer is
exactly.
actually playable anymore on certain part of the world. Say for example, France never had that amount of heat, and Germany has a huge amount of heat in summer. So more and more we might see more winter World Cups as the time goes on,
Yeah, maybe we should arrange World Cup in Norway or something. I don't know,
or Iceland.
Iceland maybe.
Yeah,
But yeah, what I'm trying to say,
or Canada, more more Canada.
yeah, you guys are arranging the next World Cup.
We
How
need
many
more. We
do
need
you want
more.
to?
We need more.
Yeah, maybe Germany, one of the successful World Cups.
I think Germany is a bad place. That would be more hot. And I mean, in summer we've seen it's either raining too much or hot too much. It's actually
No,
hot
no,
everywhere. I'm just kidding.
yeah, it's like everywhere. But what I'm trying to say, like 2006 World Cup was a fun one, you know, like logistically, if you think about it, because Germany doesn't have to do any sort of like, well, some remodeling was there, but
But there was a
that much
bribe.
was.
There's a bribe allocation from Germany
I'm
in
not sure about
2006.
that.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
But
Go,
with Sepp Blatter at the time, like everything probably went on with Bright or everything.
and
So
Michel Platini on the UEFA chair.
yeah, and also at the time the Pope was from Germany, and he was the first Pope in the history. He was taken down without being. Like, he still lives, but like normally, papal office is open up until the death, but this Pope was thrown off because of corruption. So yeah, may I can see that actually happening
Yeah.
from Germany.
Um, in last episode we covered 13. I mean, pointing out from some of the major favorites to some of the top
Dark versus.
top team that can actually surprise a lot of people. I think we've left with a few team that has not we have not covered because we were just talking for hours nonstop. Do you wanna do you wanna go somewhere and probably start covering some
No,
of
I
the
want to add a little bit about the heat you have brought. I just remember
yeah.
in 2010 in Africa, uh, there was also like things were it was also a little bit heated area probably.
It was the other side. It was cold.
Oh, okay. Ah, okay.
It
But
was a winter for South Africa.
oh, okay, cool.
It was
But
really cold. That's why you could see people, players were shivering. Some of the games, especially if you remember Argentina versus Greece. I
oh
saw
yeah,
Messi warming up, and also Germany versus Spain. The semifinal was really cold.
yeah. But that World Cup doesn't have any good memories for me. Like it was a really boring World Cup, you know. Um, I think, and I am suspecting, like we talked about some teams, and there are some dark horses, but some teams from Europe will like really suffer because of the heat, I guess.
Uh,
Um,
so can we expect a little bit of? It's not going to be club football like end to end.
yeah, of
Uh,
course,
a national
we're
team
not going to.
normally is a little bit slower pace competitions, and also a little bit more boring, if we can say that. Uh,
Yeah, of course, like especially in the middle of the season, you were watching games. Like normally, if World Cups, Euros, or Copas are like arranged in the at the end of the season, like we
yeah.
have like a month's gap, and then or like a few days, and you are happy to see football again. You know, like you don't care about the pace. Now you are like used to get like
So
we discussed like
now my
end-to-end
question
games
here
in
for you.
Syria.
Now my question here for you, because they're talking about club football and club football season has to be, um, changed due to this Winter World Cup. Do you think
Yeah.
club football season need to change?
There are certain changes coming up. Arsene Wenger was talking about it because he was the footballing director for FIFA. I don't know
Yeah,
exactly about the
development,
post.
football development, something,
Yeah,
the scheme or
something like
something. I
that.
don't know.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we discussed about this national window in between the season,
Thankfully, it's
and there
Arsene Wenger still. It's not Gerard Piqué.
yeah, thankfully, so far. Um, yeah, one of the guy we respect, I guess, like everyone so far. And he, I guess, like faced this situation for Arsenal for a long time. The transfer window, the national teams window came on for like 2 weeks or 10 days or 12 days, and players leaving and not coming in shapes and stuff like that. Uh, there was always negotiations between clubs and board for from the national team and for players and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I guess like it will come, it will change actually, and there I probably shared the uh, prospective World Cup host for 2030 with you. There was this talk to bring it back to South America again in 2030.
But it's,
Uh,
South America's how many teams hosting? Argentina,
Uruguay,
Uruguay, Paraguay,
Paraguay,
Chile,
Chile. Yeah,
and
no,
yeah,
4 teams.
four countries.
Yeah, 4 countries, and also
Now
there are talks with
48 teams.
uh, yeah, like Morocco, Greece, and who else was there? I forgot
Spain,
actually. Like three continents, like Africa, Europe, and Asia. Probably some big country I forgot, but yeah, and there was also this talk with
Belgium
uh, Belgium, yeah.
and Netherlands probably.
Mm,
Or is it
e- I actually forgot the other one. It was also interesting. Like there were also like another four teams in the tier at the tier. So I guess what I'm trying to say, like it will after this World Cup, like we'll know like what happens if we arrange, and if it's some in some way presence, like at least more than 1.8 per goals per game, it will be a successful World Cup. So there will be a little bit pressure um, from FIFA, I guess, or some other things to arrange it in the winter or something like that, or in the between. So maybe there will be a change. I don't know, but like top coaches like always complain about those sort of stuff. Now,
Yeah, because
to
they're
before that,
club coaches.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
they're representing clubs, and clubs are
Yeah, because everything depends on the for clubs. Everything depends on the chemistry. Like if you are not even not in the same string for a game, you might lose like 2 3 games, and you will out of the
it was
whole
already
competition.
happening for before that World Cup. The top teams were
Yeah,
not performing that much. With the intensity dropped because
yeah,
players didn't want to injure themselves. But
yeah.
my question is here. I was going to ask something, but I just totally blanked out. So regarding this particular World Cup, oh, I was going to ask because the World Cup normally 12 years ago it's decided where it's going to happen. Do you think that's
Mm.
fair? It, or it should be more closer to the. I know it takes time for stadiums and things to build
No, actually, I guess like
because with
well,
the climate change you cannot really predict after 12 years what's
well, we
going
can
to
say
happen.
more or less what prospectively what you're supposed to getting into, but what I'm thinking about like the economy and some countries like for example there's this article probably it, it is called White Elephants of South Africa or something like that, or we there was this article about also before Brazil World Cup about their stadium. um, uh, they built some new stadiums, but um, for South Africa, uh, n- almost nobody is like using them.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. It's a
like
waste of
that.
money
Yeah, like billions of dollar they spend, um, and they
for 1 month tournament.
yeah for 1 month's tournament, but billions of dollar they also earn. But thing is that like it's not old. uh, like right now some countries
Going
you
through
cannot
acute
tell.
recession.
Yeah, you cannot tell what is going on in the market. So I'm not sure about like which country exactly, because Argentina is in the list, and Argentina is like probably there are some of their clubs we talked about like
There are countries
maybe.
going through
Yeah, yeah,
acute recession everywhere in
yeah,
South America.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And some clubs are like going bankruptcy. So I don't see like 12 years is like too long, I guess.
Yeah,
But for 2030 it will be decided in like 2 years, so like 6 years. 6 years is more reasonable time,
yeah,
than 12 years. 12 years is like too much, like um, yeah, too much actually.
yeah. No, I
and
agree. I I
and everything
I
is like
think it's
going
just
so fast.
out of sync because given that uh, the world politics and also the climate change, and it has a part of politics as well. And I feel the World Cups is not really helping a lot of countries at all.
And I don't see actually, like, have you seen South Africa doing well in the African Nations Cup? No, we haven't. Like we seen, like Qatar was. Some people were like some old players are like nearly end of their career going to Qatar or some clubs in
Mr.
Arabi. But
Xavi went.
yeah, of course, and it doesn't actually bring. new players. The new players are coming as anyway, you know. Also, like the team is not performing. After that, probably this will be their role only. Um,
Memory.
uh, yeah, memory for the World Cup for generations to come. So what I'm trying to say, like I can also see that other argument like football World Cup should be arranged in the footballing nations.
Why? Why is
So
that?
um, the reasons are just I mentioned, you know, like the top
But then
50.
you're not reaching to the audience of everywhere else.
Yeah, that is the sort of like
If it's a
what
global
is it?
sports and it's a global event, it should be held in every region of the world. No?
Yeah, that is the counter argument. Like we what can I say?
Like I could understand
This is sort
UEFA
of like a
Champions
dilemma.
League. UEFA Champions League is UEFA's thing, and it has to be within UEFA. It's not going to be in Asia. Um, although
And
we've
Asia
seen
has also like a Asian Championship.
no, although we've seen very recently Spanish La Liga is going to happen in a little bit of USA, and there's cup competition is happening in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia.
And they are trying to get that's a different issue. But what I'm trying to say is like it's sort of like a dilemma, you know, like if you are hosting those World Cup in different countries, yeah, of course it will be fun for like for probably 4 years or something stuff like that, and then uh, the money they spent in the building the stadiums and stuff like that, it could be used different way, you know. And normally what we have seen so far, that we are not getting like responses from uh, the hosting nations for
Well, the
few.
hosting nation, there is no there's no prerequisite that hosting nation will be developed because of World Cup. It's more of a some nation would never get the chance to play in the World Cup, and that might be their only window.
No, actually, Brazil lost some money during the World Cup. It's
No,
not
no,
some; it's a
obviously,
big chunk
huge
of money.
for sure.
Yeah, because building those, like they only have like few stadium, like Mineiros
Obviously,
Stadium.
obviously.
Yeah, and they needed a little bit more. So like they built so many stadiums, and because of recession and everything, and given that pandemic happened,
And political power.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, also like now I think like it's a big risk economically, you know, for a country. For example, like uh, India was in talk for a while, um, hosting the World Cup. If you remember this Qatar thing when it was going on, they're trying to arrange it like to 2030, and now they're not in even in the race. Oh well, there are different issues like with corruption. Like India was sacked from FIFA recently because of corruption in
it's
like
ironic, isn't it?
yeah.
One corrupted institution sacks another one. Uh,
Well, like it's sort of like but nothing is perfect, you know, like but I can understand that. But what I'm trying to say, like India was trying to this guy, I forgot what's his name. He was trying to become the dictator or Qazi Salahuddin from Bangladesh of um, he was not even trying to host an election or for something, and there were some issues with like sexual harassment, I guess, like issues as well. So yeah, there's so many issues. Like India was going to arrange, but now given their economy is turning back on them, there was like unemployment rates was going up with this current government. Uh, Death rate with COVID, and they how they so like you cannot say like it would be a big risk. Like if you normally footballing nations so far we have seen like they have money, infrastructure, to arrange any tournament so far. Even even though they don't have to spend that much money. Like Brazil actually that did not spend that much than Russia did, or Qatar is like something else, but or Russia did. What I'm trying to say. So this is another thing, I think also like to be considered. And um, I'm not sure like 6 years from now if some of the countries are going to be there, or they are going to be bankrupt or something like that. We uh, Nobody can tell.
Yeah. Uh, But again, it's a every point has an argument.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's sort of a dilemma.
Uh,
It like morally it should, but reality is a little bit different.
yeah, yeah, it is. So can it be taken into consideration that the stadium that is already been there, whoever is kind of hosting, you cannot go and build. I don't know. I don't make this kind of prerequisite that if you have already made stadium, you have to just maintain it for a certain amount of time.
Not like already made. Like there are certain stadium you can renovate or stuff like that. But
But then
not so many countries have like big football stadiums. That's
up
another
to the
issue. So
international standard, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, there must be some renovation, but it's not like overhauling like Qatar. Qatar is like doing something else.
Yeah. Okay. Um, do you wanna continue this discussion about?
No, no,
Okay.
not really. Yeah, I don't have actually anything to add. I think
Okay.
we discussed the refereeing part in our other episode.
Yeah. Um,
That should be here. But yeah, let's see.
so where we are going
Um, let's talk about some interesting team. Uh, I don't
that
know.
we didn't talk about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last time like Croatia probably.
Yeah. Let's talk about them. Croatia is fun.
Of course, given that they have like new players uh, coming on. Let me share the screen. Can you see?
It's coming. Yeah. Yeah, I can see. Take us through the goalkeeper, Dominik Livakovic of Dinamo Zagreb, Ivo Gribic of Atletico Madrid. He didn't play much really. Ivusic of Osijek. Um, these are the keepers. I'm assuming that Dynamo Zagreb keeper would start.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Go ahead.
And then the defense has some names. Josip Stanisic of Bayern Munich. I didn't see him actually. Um,
He did not play much games.
Borna Perisic of Rangers. A little bit I've seen. Martin Ehrlich of Sassuolo. Dejan Lovren, very familiar name, of Zenit St. Petersburg. Borna Souza of Stuttgart. Um, Josko Vardiol of Leipzig. Domarosh Vida of Athens. Vida is still there. Josip Juranovic of Celtic. Josip Sutalo of Dynamo Zagreb. That's basically their backline. There are some known names, such as Vida and Lovren, but there are others I didn't watch many.
Yeah, so am I actually. But I have seen. I have watched Croatia games so far. There was shift. Some of their players actually did not make it through this squad actually, but like more or less I have seen them actually play for Croatia. Like they are looking a little bit solid because like 2 years ago in Euro they weren't actually
Yeah.
that much. But some names are coming on, new names, especially like Sutalo.
Is the
Dinamo
back four
Zagreb.
or back three?
They are comfortable in like back four uh, so far. Uh, like I have seen them playing some like really rarely in back three because the midfield quality they have right now with Modric, Kovacic, and
Brozovic.
what's his Brozovic, yeah. So it's Rakic is already retired, so um, they like to play them three in the middle.
So
But
four four
sometimes,
three three almost.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Let's go to the midfield. Lovro Meyer of Rennes, seen him. Mateo Kovacic, very well known. Chelsea, Luka Modric, Real Madrid, Luka Susic of Salzburg, Marcelo Brozovic of Inter Milan, Nikola Vlasic of Torino, know him very well. Mario Pasalic of Atalanta, seen enough. Christian Jakic of Eintracht Frankfurt. So yeah, we talked about 3-3, but they have pretty good backups as well.
Yeah, and it's a compact midfield, like only 4-8. So yeah, there is a this tendency sometimes they sort of like go to 4-4-2 diamonds or something. So they put another midfielder in. Um, but for that actually they sometimes actually because even Perisic is not that young anymore, so sometimes they have taken him off and put any of this
Pasalic, yeah,
yeah, Pasalic or someone else in the middle, um, and Modric become the attacking number 10.
yeah,
So I have seen that actually so far. That's their alternative, and they can play three in the back as well because sometimes if they need to dig deep, they will probably bring on Vida. But I haven't actually seen him in recent games. So far I have known like so far I have seen game. I've not watched all of Croatia game, but Vida sometimes came off from the bench and dig deep and try to make um, make like other teams strikers suffer or something like that, you know. So yeah, maybe if they are progressing uh, in the second round and uh, uh, like deep in the tournament, they could actually probably use this. But some of the players are older guys. They are not actually
spring chicken.
known.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, on the forward, you have Ivan Perisic of Tottenham. Uh, Number 9 is Andres Kramaric of Hoffenheim. Marco Livaza of Hajduk Split. Then Bruno Petkovic of Dinamo Zagreb. I've seen a little bit of him. Ante Budimir, Osasuna. Mislav Orsic of Dinamo Zagreb. So there's obviously Rebic is not fit of AC Milan. So Kramaric will be their main striker.
yeah. That's why probably um, 4-4-2 diamonds make more sense. You know, uh, sometimes they can use Perisic as a wide striker or something like that. Or sometimes yeah, Livinia can play as a number 10. I have seen him as well, like
Yeah,
or a second striker
yeah.
maybe.
Petkovic
So it is
is a
something.
very good backup of number 9.
Yeah, too. But let's see, because all
The
of them actually have a
the the other guy from Osasuna, Budimir, can play in the right as well as in centrally.
mm, yeah, but I'm not sure like if they're playing to bet on all those older guys because if you've seen the forward line, they're pretty
I
old
hope they at
actually.
least play. some of the older guys with Canada. I hope.
Yeah, but let's see. It will be interesting to see how they can cope up with this because this is probably the oldest forward line I have seen.
Yeah.
For- anything else you want to add?
No, Croatia. What do you expect from Croatia as a team? I mean, they're right now last World Cup they have been in the final. Played really well. But that's can you see them going going really deep in the tournament?
Uh, wh- with whom they have their first match?
I think the Morocco.
Hmm. I think it will set tone uh, after this match. Morocco is a fast forward
Very
team.
fast team, yes, and
Yeah. So I don't know. Like we can tell from there,
and
and
Morocco is
but
habituated on the warm weather.
um, I just want to mention that actually, yeah. So let's see. With older guys, uh, Perisic still can run, you
Oh
know.
yeah, he's
Uh,
very fit. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but I'm actually worried about the other guys. And Levi, I have never seen him a sprinter, so
yeah, yeah. But yeah, nevertheless, it's a solid team. It's a solid team. Croatia. If they can, there is very good
I
chance
think
of
at most they can go to the quarters. I don't see them passing that, but yeah, that depends. Like in the first match and everything, how else everything is else is going, and also like sometimes tournaments actually gives,
a lot of
um,
surprises.
yeah. And
That's
last World
normally
Cup was,
happens. Yeah, that
yeah,
normally happens everywhere.
yeah. So let's see, and it's in Asia, so let's see how can
Yeah,
they
in
behave.
1998, Croatia was, I think it was for very first time was playing. Uh,
They play always well in Europe, and European teams has a tendency to do that. Except for Germany in 2014, European team never won a World Cup in any other than Europe.
continent. Yeah,
Yeah, so let's see if they can break it again.
yeah. That's it. Where you wanna go?
Um, let me just a moment.
Sure.
Mm, yeah, there are few teams. Do you want to talk about Belgium?
Please, let's do it. We're gonna cover our enemies, the group, group enemies. So Robert Martinez is still the coach of this team, um, and some of the very known name for a long, long time. They're still there. Um, the goalkeeper starts with Thibaut Courtois of Real Madrid, one of the top keepers in the world. Although he's anyway, Simon Mignolet of Club Brugge is in extremely great form. Cohen Castells of Wolfsburg. That's the three keepers. So Courtois would be undoubted
No, of
starter.
course.
Yeah, yeah,
And given that he's back in form, so
yeah, and with the
let's see.
most caps as well. In the
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So in the defense, they have Toby Alderweireld of Stade Rennes, or sorry, Royal Antwerp. Arthur Theater is Stade Rennes. What Wat Vijs of Leicester. Then Vertonghen is still there. Anderlecht. Zeno de Bast of Anderlecht. Lander Dan Donker of Aston Villa. That's their backline. There's a lot of experience on there.
Yeah, only like two guys are
Toby and
old.
Vertonghen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I can see one of them are going to play probably
I think
Betong and I.
could be both. Depends who's they're playing.
Uh, because I have seen so far like Dendong Care, he's a bit he's faster actually. And I'm not sure actually. More likely they will go to Tiate. Uh,
So
uh,
are they playing with four in the back or three in the back?
no, they never.
Three
They
in the back.
always three in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Let's move it to the midfield.
So yeah, like it's only like
One,
a
two, three.
really compact, like
Yeah.
six defenders. So only one alternative and no other way. So like they will always going to play three in the back so far.
So in the midfield, they have Timothy Castagne of Leicester, Thomas Munier, who was a right wing back, basically, of Borussia Dortmund. Kevin De Bruyne, their main man of Manchester City. Hans Vanaken of Club Brugge. Jorl Tillemans of Leicester. Amadou Onana, Everton. Axel Witsel, Atletico Madrid. Torgan Hazard, more of a left wing back of Borussia Dortmund. So, um, any comment on the midfield? They play with two wing backs up.
Actually, midfield right now it's a little bit faster. Uh, you know, I Arsenal was in talk with Tillemans, and they finally did not get him. But Tillemans is in good form, and De Bruyne. There is nothing new to say about him
Yeah,
so far. He will be the probably the center, and they sort of like sometimes play with like 4-3, 4, or sometimes they are like uh, 4-5-2 or something like that. So sometimes De Bruyne plays a second striker. Uh, well, most likely his position is will be in the outside of that area actually, that box, box area. Witzel probably is going to play. I'm not sure about that, but Thorgan Hazard is definitely going to be there, and so does Thomas Munier. When Munier is playing well so far, in the beginning of the season he was not actually, but now he's he's in good form. So does Tillemans. I guess like this is the starter so far, like Tillemans, Munier, and Thorgan
Torgan. Uh,
in that four. And if they mix with five, and let's see, like they
could be
can
Axel
actually.
Witsel.
Whistle, I'm not sure actually about Whistle, or they could go for Onana. Onana, I have seen him for Everton. He's a really gritty midfielder. Um, so let's see how they want to shape in. But mm, yeah, three of their midfielders are in like really good form so far.
Yeah.
So um, let's see.
So on the forward, you have Romelu Lukaku, the big Rom, of Inter
Isn't
Milan.
he injured?
He is still injured. They're still taking him. Just make sure that if they go into the second round, he might get fit. But I don't know how much risk of that. Michi Batshuayi of Fenerbahce. I think Batshuayi is a good player. I think people don't give him a credit, especially.
Batshuayi is probably playing for them as a backup for Lukaku, and he's doing well so far.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
Dries Mertens still there, Galatasaray. Charles de Ketelaere of AC Milan, seen a little bit of him. Yannick Carrasco of Atletico Madrid. Eden Hazard, the other Hazard brother of Real Madrid. Leandro Trossard, who's in extremely good form with Brighton. Lois Openda of Lens, and Jeremy Doku of Stade Rennais.
I haven't actually seen Openda and Doku, but there's this fun fact actually. Uh, Dries Martins is probably yeah, probably their top chance creator in the final third. You know, he's actually bested Kevin De Bruyne, and also like he has probably more assists than Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not sure is he going to be played because I can see like 4-3-4. Sorry, 3-4-3.
It's yeah,
And Trossard is playing from the left, and De Bruyne is playing from the right and shifting. And Batshuayi could be their lone striker.
it could be Eden Hazard too, right? Isn't it?
No, Hazard actually wasn't playing as a starter for a while, and Belgium was actually looking well without Hazard so far. So maybe for like 20 minutes they can bring it to create some chances, but De Bruyne can do that. So that's Trossard. Trossard is a good runner. He can run like 90 minutes uh,
So
non-stop.
so to Carrasco.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure, but it seems like more likely like it should be sort of like a 3-4-2-1 shape.
Yeah, yeah. Let's. Uh, yeah. How do you rate Belgium? They've they've had some players, definitely some older of the golden generations are still there. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, but recently they have some new players, so it all depends on their chemistry and what we have mentioned so far, like condition. So their first game will be against
Canada.
whom? Oh, so it will set the tone so far. But yeah, they will more likely go into the deep in the tournament than Croatia so far.
Okay, fair enough. Um, should I move on?
Yeah, of course. Do you have anything else to add?
I think Belgium is an interesting team. I remember them playing really well for the period of last World Cup. I mean, at least quarterfinal they played really well. I mean,
With
um,
against Brazil?
against Brazil as well as I think I enjoyed Japan versus Belgium. I think
Oh yeah, it was probably the best
one
game.
of the
Yeah,
games of the World Cup of last year or last
yeah,
times last four
last time.
years. Yeah. Um, and I think people don't remember that much, but the Japan Belgium game was one of the fun game, and I expected more from them against France in the semi-final. That didn't really do much.
I thought they would go through.
Yeah, yeah. But again,
And Hazard was like in the beast mode basically.
he was, um, and also Lukaku was fitter.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hazard, I remember he was creating sort of like everything what was going right for them against Brazil was going wrong for them actually, and Lukaku was missing like, and that is the part. Like if they play Lukaku, he could be frustrating because like Lukaku tends, if he misses the fast chances or some
Yeah,
stuff like that, he tends to
his
miss
his
all
first
of that.
first 5-10 minutes, even the touches, if it doesn't go
Yeah,
well, it doesn't. Mm,
no, it's not his day.
yeah, I agree.
So
So it's almost probably better to play Dries Martins as a false nine to me at that point. But again, they have Batshuayi and also Trossard can play them.
yeah, yeah, but for me, I see Trossard coming from the left a little bit.
Fair enough.
Let's move on to Canada, I guess, like the other
Sure,
group.
sure, sure. I mean, this group is interesting.
Yeah, we did not talk about Korea, right?
South Korea, no, we didn't. We talked
Okay,
about Japan.
yeah. So let's go to Canada, or you are there already.
Yeah, I'm here already. Okay. Canada is just to remind, it's the top CONCACAF nation going into this tournament, and a lot of people are underestimating. Just to check out, they're in a difficult group, but uh, the goalkeepers, Milan Borjan is a Red Star Belgrade keeper. James Pantemis of Montreal Impact, Dane St. Clair of Minnesota. There was a mishap happened with one of the goalkeeper. I think days before into Canada. He was going to play in the or he was going to be the second keeper, but he just broke his leg on the MLS Cup, so he cannot go. Lauren, Maxim Lauren, and so otherwise, Borhan is one of the best players, I would say, on the team. The goalkeeper is a very good keeper. Um,
Okay, and he was there for the qualifiers, I see.
he
So,
was he's skipping very well actually. Um, Sam Adakugbe is our left back. Uh, Alfonso Davis doesn't start because he's very good at is as speedy. He's very speedy one, and he can underlap and overlap and combine well with Davis on that left side. Derek Cornelius of he plays in the Greece Pentecost, I think. Alistair Johnson is one of the best defender we have of Montreal. Richie Laria of Toronto. Kamal Miller of Montreal. Stephen Victoria of Portland, I think. Portugal. He plays in Portugal. GT Chaves. Joel Waterman of Montreal as well. So there's some solid players. Just remember that some of the lads are very tall and very well built.
what
Especially,
formation are they going to play?
I've seen Canada play in multiple different formations. This is one of the team that can probably you can see changing inside the game. Like within 20 minutes, they change formations. I've seen 4-4-2. I've seen 4-1-4-1. I've seen 3-4-3, 4-2-2-2. Variety because uh, part of that period, Jonathan David and Alfonso Davis was not available, so the coach had to manufacture something out of the whoever was available and the best formation he can create for based on opposition and the stadium as well. In home, there was home games. There was a different kind of setup than away games. So yeah, it's and also the condition. It he really prepares and changes formation based on that. So it's hard to read Canada.
I see. Um, so about midfield.
Yeah, midfielder is one of the best player on the team is Stefan Estacio, who plays in the Porto FC Porto. Um, Liam Fraser is in KMSK Tense. Hutchinson plays in Besiktas. Mark Anthony Kaye of Toronto. Ismail Kone of Toronto as well. Jonathan Osorio plays in Toronto. So there is a lot of Toronto-based midfielders. Um, you have Liam Miller. He plays in FC Basel. Samuel Piette of Montreal. David Witherspoon of St. Johnstone. Junior Hollett of Reading. So mostly it's the tempo is being maintained by Estacio, who builds everything from he sets the tempo, he sets up the play. Others are more kind of nitty gritty kind of ball winners, and he's more of a connecting the dots between attack and the midfield.
Um, okay, let's go to the forward
Forward,
and then
Tejan Buchanan is one of the exciting players in Canada. He plays on Club Brugge. Lucas Caviani, Vancouver Whitecaps. Jonathan David of Lille. Alfonso Davis of Bayern Munich. Uh, Plays almost on the left side winger who comes inside. Larin plays on the other side of Davis in the right. Ike Ugbo, very very utility player from he plays on Troyes, I think, in France. Uh, but yeah, there's some speedy players, right? All there, all of them are really really speedy players, and Jonathan David is arguably the best finisher among all of them. But yeah, it's an exciting attack with some really really fast players, and if you can see some of the, I don't know if their age is there, but you know, most of them are not really old. The oldest is Lucas Cavaliani of Vancouver Whitecaps,
I guess like there's on 39 years old.
the keeper, I think.
Atiba, no, Atiba Hutchinson
All right,
is 39.
right, right. He plays in Besiktas.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, like even Jonathan David was not the high scorer in the, I guess like in the World Cup qualifiers. So far, I remember. Um,
I think
I guess
I think he was. I am not 100% on that. I can double check on that.
so far I read, he was not actually.
No, he was
Um,
not. Yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot of Club Brugge players. So probably there is a link between right now Canada and
Yeah.
Belgium. But do you think like you have mentioned about speed? Like Canada is pretty much in the north area. So like, is heat going to be a problem for Canada?
Um, could be and could be not. uh, uh, because Canada played
I think
most of the.
one. Yeah, only one team there in this group, like Morocco, is only habituated to this environment. Other than
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
other three is not.
But just remember, Canada do play in Texas, in US, which is very hot place.
Yeah,
Canada did play in Mexico City, which is really hot place. Played in Costa Rica, hot place. I'm not saying it will be it will be a test, so it will be an adjustment. I think what Canada might want to do against some of the teams that they're playing against, especially Croatia or Morocco or Belgium, I think they'll absorb a lot of pressure and they'll try to hit on the counter as much as possible. And some of the younger guys like Jonathan David or Alfonso Davis, no matter how much hit is there, they're going to run.
yeah, they're going to.
And Buchanan as well. He's a machine who can run on and take on players. The only problem with him, if he can improve his finishing, he would be one of the exciting players even in Europe. Uh, but other than that, I mean, this team, especially the forward lines, can run or make that sprint, and the transition is quick. So that's where I think the chances might be created.
What are the expectation back home?
There's no expectation, to be honest, but I think there is a lot of hope with the Canadian team, especially not just within Canada, but also from the region, because Mexican team unfortunately is not the strongest Mexican team this time around. US team, there's a lot of things going on with the US. They're
Yeah,
very
they're out
very
of
solid.
form as well.
So and Canada unfortunately is in a very very tough group. But I think if we can earn a point, a goal, and just beat anyone else and hope for the best. I mean, the Canada team can upset a lot of. I mean, it could be a surprise. Surprise. This team can be a surprise in the World Cup. There's chance of that, but we're not taking that pressure on this team. I think this, given the recent results of Belgium that been beaten by Egypt by 2-0, I think it will be interesting to see them.
It's the first World Cup since '86, right?
Yes. So this
Oh,
is the
okay.
first time. in say for example our lifetime, Canada will be playing
Yeah,
in the
of
World
course.
World Cup. Yeah, so and
Um,
this is a very young side, and they will be most of them will be available in the next World Cup cycle.
yeah, I have seen. I've also seen some players are like over 30s. So, what are the pipelines? Um, is I have seen you discussed about it in
Yeah.
other episode. It was interesting actually
Well,
to see.
the pipelines are there. There are a lot of other players are going into Europe, more and more from MLS and inside the
Yeah,
Canada as well. So there are a lot more things going on, and also hopefully, if this team do well, I mean, most of the 80% of this team is really young, 80 to 85%.
yeah,
So there'll be more players.
yeah. Let's see. Um, yeah, I don't have actually have anything much to add.
Sure.
Can we move on?
Yeah. Please go to the next.
Uh, which team?
Any could be Morocco, could be South Korea, could be anywhere else.
Let me check. I couldn't find the list.
That's
Oh
okay.
yeah.
That's okay. If we
Uh, yeah. Uh, I actually have like Ecuador's.
Sure, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Ecuadorian team.
Yep.
Uh, by the way, Senegal team would be without Sadio Mane. So
Yeah.
that
It's,
I don't know if that gives a little bit of hope, more hope towards Ecuador's chances. But this Ecuador team is an interesting one. The goalkeeper is Hernan Galenes of Aucas.
Galindes.
Caldes, and Moises Ramirez of Independiente del Valle. That's the most of the core of the players. Alexander Dominguez of Quito. So I think Galindez is the starter. Um, Defenders are Piero Hincapi of Leverkusen, Robert Arboleda of Sao Paulo, Felix Torres of Santos Laguna, William Pacho of Antwerp, Purvis Estupinian, who was a Brighton left back, Angelo Preciado of Genk, um, Javier Araiga of Seattle Sounders, um, Diego Palacios of Los Angeles, Jackson Porozo of Troyes. There are certain players. I mean, still this team is fairly young from back to front. Fairly young team. Uh,
Actually, you shared a video so far. Okay, we can discuss about it later.
Sure. The midfield has Jose Cifuentes of Los Angeles, Carlos Gruezo of Augsburg, Angel Mena of Lyon, Jeremy Sarmiento of Brighton, Jackson Mendes of Los Angeles, Gonzalo Plata of Real Valladolid, uh, Alan Franco of Talleres, Moises Caicedo of Brighton, Kevin Rodriguez of Imbabura. Um, and then the forwards basically are Zorka Raisko of Newells, Ener Valencia, very well known name, Fenerbahce, Michael Estrada of Cruz Azul, plays in Mexico, Artron Preciado of Santos Laguna, and Romario Ibarra of Pachua, who plays in Colombia.
Yeah. Um, Funny thing is that like uh, there are so many Brighton players, so like that's why I wanted to cover this. Caicedo is in interesting form. I think probably he's the one who makes you watch Ecuador probably. Um,
Yeah, Moises Caicedo. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's very. There are some interesting, and even the not known name players are very very uh, fierce competitors. So that's why this team tries to win the ball back and tackles hard and stuff like that. And very very quick on the try to be quick on the transition.
actually, if you remember, they were sort of building their team during the uh, Copa time because before that they had a really, I guess like they had a good run, but at the end it was like a little bit shaky.
It was
Not
patches.
in the,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they had to change a lot after the pandemic, and Valencia is not their main guy anymore,
No,
which is a good thing so far. So far I see, and the coach, I guess, like you shared a video. This guy was talking about this coach. What his name? I forgot. Fize?
Alfonso Gustavo.
Yeah, Gustavo. So um, he he's sort of an interesting character. He was not even in the scene for like a national team coach. It was an interesting appointment as well. And how they played it, there seems like it depends on, like I said, like where he's going to be there. So they can actually try and I have seen them actually shifting their shapes. And but what we have seen like uh, from Ecuador, like um, they can be gritty in some days,
They're
and
very hard to score on, but the problem is their own
they're
scoring.
also fast as well.
Yeah, the other part is they don't score much. That's the problem. Uh,
That is the main problem actually. That is why they are not in the talks actually, and that is why they suffered at the end of the qualifiers. Also during the Copa America last time, they don't go score at all sometimes.
yeah, it seems like they're more on a set piece based.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They scored. So far I remember they scored a goal against Brazil, right, in the from the set pieces, right? If you remember in the Copa.
did they play Brazil? Yeah, they
I
in the group stage. Yes.
Yeah, group stage. So like Brazil considered only few goals, and this was the one from
Yeah.
set pieces, and they are scoring actually like in the even in qualifiers. I remember they're scoring from set pieces. They are really basic teams, like not not like other South American players, but uh,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they can make it through the group round, and but
it'll be
if
not easy. It'll be not easy, but they can upset a lot of team. I mean, one thing for sure,
their
they're
midfield is solid.
acclimatized on the hot weather,
Yeah,
which the Dutch
of course,
team
like
is
Ecuador is
not.
like one of the hottest place to play
So
football.
if they can get a draw with the Dutch and win against Qatar and also get something out of Senegal game, yeah,
Oh, and Mane is not playing. You mentioned so. Um, yeah, uh, they are. They will probably target that match as well.
yeah,
And but one thing is like the first match ever in the World Cup is going to be them versus Qatar. So
yeah.
uh, there will be a lot of peer pressure as well. Uh,
If I'm
and
not mistaken, they've yeah, that's true. Yeah, they'll be on the spotlight for the first game.
and I guess like so far I remember every host nation so far won their first game.
Yeah, probably you're right. Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
shall we
I
move
don't
on?
have. Yeah, I don't have anything to add on really. Yeah.
Uh, do you who who do you want to talk about?
I don't see. We haven't talked with the. I mean, we have talked mostly with the team that looks like promising, or at least in the favorite list.
Well,
Uh,
made it to the top 16, maybe, or maybe not be. I don't know. Like
yeah,
it was really random.
yeah, it's very random. So I don't pretend to know every team as well because it's hard.
Can we talk about a little bit about your neighbor, USA?
Sure. USA. Yeah, please.
Can you see?
Yep. Uh, there are the players. Ethan Horvath of Luton. Sean Johnson of New York. And Matt Turner of Arsenal. So there are some on paper. Actually, there are some very good players on this team. Um, on defense, you have Tim Ream of Fulham, Cameron Carlos Vickers of Celtic, Serginho Dest of AC Milan, Aaron Long of NY Red Bulls, Shaq Moore of Nashville, and Tony Robinson of Fulham, Joe Skelly of Gladbach. You have DeAndre Yeldin of Inter Miami, Yedlin, Walker Zimmerman of Nashville. So yeah, there are some good names out there on the defensive lines. Um, but
I have so far seen Anthony Robinson. He looked okay so far. Not in the best, but okay. But uh, is Serginho Dest is fit?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But uh, yeah, he's probably gonna play. Yeah.
Okay, then then it's okay. But I asked you a question about their goalkeeper. I am so puzzled by it because Matt Turner did not play obviously for Arsenal for a while, and he played like 7 qualifiers games so far.
Yeah, he's the starting
And
keeper.
oh, okay. So is it going to be a because like these guys are playing like all the matches for their team? Is there going to be a problem
No,
for that
I don't
actually?
think so. No, I think Turner is fine. I mean, he just moved not so long ago in Arsenal.
No,
Yeah.
no. Actually, he's probably the only player from US, like goalkeeper from US, who's also good with ball on his feet, because that's why he was actually hired. And I have seen him playing in the cup match, the one that they lost. Fans were like furious about it, but that's sort of like English tradition. If there any how can I say outsider or anyone from US then is not doing well, they don't take it seriously. But what I'm trying to say, I have seen him passing the ball around from the back. Um, he's
He's quite all right.
well.
Actually, he's quite all right. Yeah.
Yeah, although he looked a little bit shaky in that cup game, but he from the feet he was okay. But it that's why I'm asking, like, because he doesn't have he match practice for a while. So
Well, if you remember Sergio Romero, uh,
oh yeah.
he started a lot of World Cup games uh, by playing in the bench normally. So,
Well, if it works for him, maybe. Um, yeah,
but
let's go.
technically, always US had some interesting keepers like Tim Howard, Cassie Keller, and a lot of others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go into midfield. Calvin Acosta. LAFC, Tyler Adams of Leeds, Weston McKennie of Juventus, Yunus Musa of Valencia, Christian Roldan of Seattle, Luca de la Torre of Celta Vigo. Um, yeah, that's
Midfield
basically
is, I guess, like they will play
three.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and very
Uh,
fixed midfielders. Like you know that Weston
McKinney,
McKennie
yeah,
may play. Then there is
Adams.
Roldan. Yeah, Adams. Yeah. You'll see them definitely.
Okay.
Taylor Adams is definitely playing.
Okay. Forward, it's interesting.
Yeah, there's so many. Brandon Aronson of Leeds, Gio Reyna of Borussia Dortmund, Jesus Ferreira of FC Dallas, Jordan Morris of Seattle, um, Haji Wright of Antalyaspor of Turkey, Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent of Norwich, Timothy Weah of Lille. So yeah, there's a world. I mean, in paper, there's a lot of good players out there.
Yeah, not only paper, because I have seen Brendan Aronson was playing. Uh, he was in good form um so far. He's really fast as well. So if only guy who can actually play in this forward line, it would be the first name. He would be the first name in the sheet so far
Uh,
from the forward line. Um, I have seen Timothy Weah. He's not that actually explosive, but
he's
he's
technically,
promising. But he's
yeah, he's
yeah
technically good.
oh, yeah, exactly, and also he's playing regularly so far, um, like compared to others. But do you think like police is uh, I don't know, like he's their biggest star so far? Um,
Yeah, and
is
so much so that Gio Reyna doesn't really get
Yeah,
into the first 11, right? So
yeah. So is he going to be there, or like are they going to like 4-2-3-1 as a Pulisic as a number 10 and Giorena
on that,
playing as
if I'd be really honest on that group, this is funny because England plays defensively, Wales played even more defensively, Iran plays even more defensively. The only team that can keep ball is the US. So yeah, I think they don't have any other chances or any other
uh,
choice.
but first game will be Iran against US or something, or Wales.
I think England first game is against Iran, isn't it? Let's see.
I'm not sure actually.
Let me double check on that. US is playing first game against Wales.
Hmm. Wow, that that's a tougher.
Yeah,
But
it's going to set the
do you
tone.
see? Yeah, do you see them coming on top?
It's tough. Wales is really good on break and very defensive minded team.
Also,
Um,
they're really good in set pieces.
yes. Um,
And Gareth Bale seems to play last few games for LAFC. Right? They won a cup like few days ago.
yeah. But yeah, yeah.
Can they top
It will
England?
be not that it will be not that easy, but this US team has. I mean, on paper they have the talent to do something at least to go into the second round.
Well, there are great expectation. I saw some because most of the sports channels are owned by US.
Their expectation is sometimes is unrealistic. It's like England. I've seen some of the US newspaper are saying that they will be the champion. So that's like an unrealistic expectation right away.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Like with even with NBA, which is supposed to be the best league for basketball, the US team cannot beat even other teams. Even like they probably was beaten by Korea probably recently. Um, yeah, I forgot actually, but what I'm trying to say, like they always try to do that. I guess like it's a sort of like an English team, English thing. They
Yeah,
could not. Uh, how can I say? Basically, they are England also English men also like. So. But
yeah.
that
So
that
so
book
if
is
that happens,
interesting.
just to give you
Yeah.
a sense that England, who's the bookies favorite from English bookies, US is
Well, most bookies are English.
well, US
So
bookies like US too. So there'll be two hypothetic champion on that group.
wow. Then it would be hard to be the group champion. Probably like well more than winning a World Cup or something.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. But I can see them actually coming top of Iran and maybe Wales if they play well. But first game will against Wales again. It will be hard
I-
defending in the set pieces.
Iran fired their qualifying manager and hired Carlos Queiroz again. And Carlos Queiroz, we all know Carlos Queiroz um, is very ultra defensive minded. Uh,
If you remember that Argentina game, Messi scored probably a 91 minutes goal.
yeah.
Before that, every man was
So it's not
on the
that
defense.
easy to score against Iran.
Yeah,
It's not.
no, most likely you need to depend on set pieces.
And if you get any chance, just grab it. Otherwise, you're not gonna
Yeah,
get much chances.
yeah, and that's why like I'm thinking about like Pulisic could be frustrating. He's sort of like Lukaku. Once he missed the chance, he try to be a little bit hyper, and then he
But
lost
yeah,
more.
he's the biggest star out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
They have, I've seen some of the news channels already put him on the golden shoe sort of a golden ball sort of conversation. So, do you think that they're going to drop him from the first 11?
I don't think so.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Can we move to South Korea a little bit?
Please.
Uh, let me just find it because it's not in the depth list. Yeah, can you see?
Coming. Yeah. So yeah, please. There's a list. I don't know every player of South Korea.
Sorry, I I don't watch the South Korean league like because like Ulsan Hyundai so far, I know they always uh, compete in the Asian championship.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Mm, but I know some players like Kim from Napoli was in the squad. Let's go through the. Well, I don't actually know any of them. Like most, most of them
well. I
actually.
know a few players, but let's just go through them. I mean, just to honor the list. The goalkeeper
Yeah.
is Kim Song Yu of Al Shabab, Jo Hyun Woo of Ulsan Hyundai, Song Song Burn Kyo,
Boom.
Song Bum Kyun of Hyundai Motors. Defense, we have Kim Yong Gyeon of Ulsan Hyundai, Kim Jin Soo of uh, Jeonbuk, Hyundai Motors. Then you have Kim Min-ja of Napoli, Hong Shul of Daegu, Kon Kyung-on of Gamba Osaka. So he plays in Japan. Kim Moon-hwan of Jeonbuk, Hyundai Motors. Kim Tae-won of Ulsan. Cho Yumin, Daeyeon. Woon Jong-woo of Seoul. So that's the defenders. I know one or two players, but not very many, except the Napoli defender
Yeah, so am
Kim
I. I
Min-jae.
don't actually. Yeah, Kim so far is in good form. So far we
There's a
have
lot of
seen.
Kim out there, so Kim Min-jae, yeah.
Yeah, Kim Min-jae. Yeah.
Yeah. The midfielders, Jang Woo Young of Al Sadd, used to play. Al Sadd is Xavi's ex uh,
Yeah.
coaching team. Lee Jae-sung,
I think I've seen him.
Lee Jae-sung of Mainz in Germany. Wang Hee-shan, Wolves. Kwon Sang-hoon of Gimcheon Sangmu. Then Wang In-bom of Olympiacos. Na Sang-ho of Seoul. Son Jun-ho of Shandong Taishan. And Paik Song-ho of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. There's a lot of midfielders. Jeong Woo-young of Freiburg. Lee Kang-in of Mallorca. Song Min-kyo of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. So there's a lot of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors teammates out there in this Korean team.
Yeah. I we discussed when we were talking about
Freiburg,
Freiburg, Jeong
Young.
Young. He was trying to like who's their number 10 guy, like a creative guy. Um, and well, he can play like really fast, and sometimes he goes down and like make those like play as a defensive uh, deep lying playmaker, not like in formation, but like sometimes he just go deep in and make some long ball for Son and other wingers whoever playing in this position. I have seen that actually, and they are really good in transition. Lee Kang In probably will play. I'm not sure. Um,
Yeah, he can. This guy is versatile. He can play interior. He can play in the wider areas too.
yeah, and one of the thing is like versatility. I only have seen another one like Huang He Shan from Wolves. He was fast.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, um, like I don't know all of them, but I have seen Korea playing against other teams so far, and their fast counter attack could be the problem for if I don't know, like if Uruguay decides to play with like a Diego Godin, probably I don't know. I don't
No,
see
no, no.
him coming on top.
If Diego Godin plays, I think it could be back three. Uh,
But still, I don't see him coming on top with Son,
no,
given the form he has now. So
definitely. So the forward has obviously Son Heung-min is Tottenham, who's playing with a facial fracture. He's playing with a mask probably.
yeah,
Um, Wang Wijo of Olympiacos is backup. Seo Gui-sung of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. So there's a lot of players from that team on this Korean side,
yeah, it's sort of like the Barcelona or something
or
like
Bayern
that.
Munich of Korea.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, that's about it. I think they're an interesting team, but I don't know how much they can do against especially Portugal, Uruguay, and Ghana.
yeah. This is like a really tough group. Like I would love to see them coming on
Well,
top.
yeah, if
Or
the Korea was in place of Iran, they probably are better
yeah, of
suited.
course they could have actually made it through. Because yeah, they would have actually made it through.
They could
Uh,
there was chance,
yeah,
but unfortunately.
But coming on top of Portugal, it would be tough. Maybe
Well, not
Uruguay,
not
they can
Portugal.
go.
I'm talking probably their style probably doesn't suit Ghana and also Uruguay.
Yeah, true.
But
But let's see. Anything can happen, and if anything can go through uh, from Asia, like we have only two team, Japan and Korea. So
Japan, Korea, Iran, Saudi Arabia.
uh, I no, I'm talking about like going through
Oh, right,
the second round. Yeah.
right, right.
So
Well, Australia might beat France.
Australia was playing in the against probably Venezuela or some other team. I forgot actually. Right, they're coming on New Zealand. New Zealand was coming.
No, New Zealand
No,
and
New Zealand.
Costa
New
Rica.
Zealand didn't.
Costa
Yeah,
Rica
New
came in.
Zealand didn't. Yeah. So yeah, no.
Australia was
Australia is
playing
in.
against UAE.
Yeah, UAE. So, but I saw them actually. They are not looking that Australia we remember.
No,
You know,
it's a very defensive team.
It's not like Team Cahill's Australia.
No, it's
But the problem with them, like they're really good athletes, but uh, they don't. They are having the same problem as Ecuador. They don't have any scorers, so
yeah,
that is the problem.
yeah.
Like so many teams have this problem. I think in this World Cup, so this could be. I don't actually have any other teams to go on
No,
through like the
not me
final
too. I
round.
mean, I don't want to go into teams that I have very less idea.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Didn't
Korea, I don't actually see Korean league so far, so I only have some admiration of
so
some
only
players like Kim.
K-pops.
Yeah.
No K-leagues.
So yeah, like what I'm saying, um, it would be an interesting World Cup in a way. But I hope like there will be at least like around 2 game per goal ratio.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a goal per game.
yeah. That'll be interesting.
So yeah. South Africa World Cup was like this. Okay, I wanted to ask you something like uh, in your lifetime, which World Cup is the best for you so far? Like which one you enjoyed most?
Mm, that's a tough one. I think 2014.
Because of Argentina runs or
No, I think the quality was better. I mean, you don't see most of the second round to um, knockout games, or even some of the first round games were actually very close, competitive, very, very close.
you were in Canada at the time or
Yes,
oh okay.
yes. I think it was very close, and you had the closest could be 2006. There were some very good games, memorable ones, but yeah, the worst I believe 2018 in terms of quality, except 2 or 3 games. There was not much quality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was probably the worst, and uh, yeah, for me as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
and also 2006 because there are certain players you want to root for, and Zidane was that kind of player, or
yeah.
seeing Riquelme, uh, whatever.
Actually, that team was I mentioned probably with my friends and probably with you. The team actually could have actually win the whole thing.
Yeah, that
Um,
team was that good. I mean
like the most balanced Argentina team so far we have seen. Uh,
yeah, maybe not most balanced in terms of because
now compared to now, I guess like now there is a chance, but
no,
like that
what
team
I'm
has.
trying to say is that there were some certain things were not great, but still it was a very good team.
Yeah, like Samuels, they're already there. They're even in their top form. Like Cambiaso came in, even Veron was not
No,
maybe
no, Veron
there.
was not there on that
Yeah,
time.
but still, if you like, there were like 30, 35 players you can name who can actually play for the team. And recall me what you
The
mentioned.
problem I think was backup keeper was not that great. Um,
Yeah.
there was
Also, like,
a
but
lot of
they were not actually
changes.
prepared for that actually.
There was a lot of changes. Say Peckerman took over 2004-5, and then he took three keepers. German Lux was starting keeper in the Confederation Cup just 1 year ago, and then he dropped three keepers. He took the new three keepers in that World Cup. So there was a lot of changes happened in very short time.
Yeah. Also, Crespo was his peak of his form at that time.
True.
Um, just before the World
Saviola
Cup,
was Saviola was great.
Fabiola was there.
You had
Yeah.
Young Tevez coming in, who's a
Yeah.
menacing player. You have
And
Leo
that
Messi
Maxi, yeah,
coming
Maxi
in,
Rodriguez. Yeah.
Maxi Rodriguez coming in. You had Lucho Gonzalez on that team, who's a
Yeah.
very fine player. You had
And they were actually they could play like in certain formations as well.
if they wanted to,
Uh, Yeah, 3-4-3. I have seen them. Like Sorin was wing back and going up and down.
but yeah, again,
I remember.
um,
But 2006 was an interesting World Cup. Like I remember I was rooting for Zidane. Obviously,
yeah,
whenever he was getting the ball, everything is magical.
yeah.
uh, One of the best. But I remember the World Cup, like the few months before everyone was handing the World Cup to Brazil.
That
But
happens
all those
every time,
players,
isn't it?
e- not every time because of the quality of players that time they have.
No, no,
Like,
no. It happens almost every time. You ask
yeah,
any of the build up, Brazil is always favorite.
yeah, of course, like they always have players like that, except like in 2010, I guess.
Well, still they were rooted as like
Yeah,
they had Robinho at that point of time. He's a big star. Kaká, it was a big star. Um,
Rooney joined, but he playing for Atletico Mineiro. Oh no, no, Rooney did not. Or did? I forgot actually.
Ronaldinho,
Yeah,
I think he was playing.
yeah, he was. I remember he joined Mineiro to go to the World Cup or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But it seems like uh, very distant. Um, but that team was not that bad. That Brazil team had some players.
Yeah, but they were playing under Carlos Dunga, right? Or no, Dunga came after that.
No, that was Dunga. You're right.
Oh, okay, Dunga. Oh, okay. Then yeah, he I remember Neymar did not made it to the World Cup, uh, and it was a talk of the town at the time.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
he was really young. But anyway, but
It was
uh,
17.
yeah, just to make it, I think Bebeto was there.
Yeah, Robert was there.
Some other players were there, like Adriano, probably. I can't remember if Adriano was
Yeah,
made in.
Adriano was their striker,
Yeah,
number 9.
yeah. So that,
Maicon scored a goal. I remember that was one of
yeah,
the
yeah, against North Korea.
North Korea.
But
Yeah, for me,
that's my entire argument about like this Brazil team is probably the way stronger team. I'm not denying that, but there's always that fascination of giving it to Brazil always as a favorite, um, and that didn't
I
really.
think sometimes teams are playing a little bit, paying too much respect to Brazil sometimes.
I,
Like the players they have,
yeah,
normally they are they are really good tricky dribblers. Like you don't want to be harassed in the war stage by
yeah,
those. So sometimes they give some sort of like little bit. They sit a little bit back because of their playing against Brazil.
yeah. That happens. But yeah,
Well, that happens mostly in Copa America. I've seen players are not like,
not just Copa America, the entire qualifier.
yeah, true. Um, yeah, but for me, like I remember, I really enjoyed '98. It was like I was only six only, but still remember some games. I like that goal from
98
Dennis
was
Bergkamp.
98 was a good World Cup.
Yeah, also a really
In terms of
entertaining World Cup.
quality,
Yeah,
there's some good games like Dutch versus Brazil semifinal was great.
Brazil. Yeah, wow.
Uh,
I remember it was a nail biter. We
Even
were
Brazil
staying up.
versus Denmark,
Yeah,
the Laudrup brothers,
Denmark was, yeah.
it's a great game. We
Uh,
have
Also
Argentina versus England,
Argentina versus England. Yeah, of course.
one of the classic
What a
games.
drama.
You have Argentina versus Holland was one of the
Yeah.
best games as well. So yeah, it was very filled with some very good games. And also Germany
Yeah.
versus Croatia, one of the
Oh yeah, Germany versus Croatia, of course.
is one of the uh, game.
Yeah. Funny thing is that like France somehow like side pass everything. I don't
I
know.
think France was hoping Brazil make it to final because they didn't want to face the Dutch team. That's according to Frank Leboeuf.
Hmm, okay.
Because that Dutch team
But
was very good.
that, yeah, of course, that team actually. Uh, Actually, the worst Dutch team I have ever seen is like from 2010, and they made it to the final.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they had
Yeah,
limitations.
not limitation, man. Like, how can I say? It's like I've never like if you have any good memories of Dutch football, you can put together and then think about opposite. And that Nigel de Jong's kick in the final, of, it's sort of like see the symbolism of the team, you know.
Yeah, Van Bommel and Nigel de Jong both.
Yeah, yeah, they were really nasty. Yeah, but that 98 Dutch team was like way better. Like it was they yeah they like the teams who played the semi-final, any teams could have actually win the World Cup.
Yeah, was it Turkey? Um, Turkey made it to
US
semifinal.
quarter.
Oh, it's 2002.
Yeah,
They made it to semifinal. Yeah.
2002. Oh, yeah,
Brazil versus Turkey was the semifinal.
yeah. uh, yeah, I also enjoyed 2014 as well. 14 was also like an interesting World Cup for
Very,
so many reasons.
yeah, very
Yeah,
interesting. Especially that game, Spain versus Dutch. It
so
was
many games actually, like Germany versus Ghana, uh,
Germany
Ghana,
versus
uh,
Algeria.
Algeria, yeah. Also Germany versus Ghana or some other
Yeah,
teams like
yeah, it was gonna.
uh, second round or something
I
like
think it
that.
was
But
group stage
whatever,
or something. Yeah.
like they scored a last minute goal or something like that. Yeah, but there were so many interesting games even in the group stages, and like teams were not holding back at the time. Like um, yeah, what was interesting in 2010, everyone was like, okay, four in the back and two in the front and 4-2-3-1, and everything is same, and basically everyone is copy and pasting in
Except Diego
this
Maradona.
4-2-3-1. Well, Maradona is a different case. I saw Pablo Zabaleta's interview. He was in the probably one of the qualifiers at the end of it,
Yeah, I see
last two.
that. Yeah, second round.
Yeah, he did not. He was not actually fit, and because of that, he was not even called. And at that time, if you remember, Inter won treble with
Hmm.
this old Javier Zanetti,
Hmm.
one of the like peak of his form, you know. Um, and
No,
Walter Samuel was not even called,
no
and
Cambiaso.
not Cambiaso. Yeah, Esteban Cambiaso. Oh
So
my God,
all the Inter Milan team
and
members
no
were
Riquelme.
no. Riquelme had a problem, but all the Inter Milan players didn't make it except Diego Milito, who was a reserve striker.
Yeah,
But yeah, That's Diego.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think if we don't have anything to talk about,
No,
I'll try
just
to cover as much as possible of the World Cup. I mean, there are 4 games in a day. I don't think I can. I mean, there are certain games at
90 to
two
4.
a.m.
That means like uh, how many games? I don't know. And German's broadcaster only allowed to. They only got like 48 matches to um, broadcast. So
Okay,
I don't know how many I will watch.
yeah, but yeah, definitely we'll talk about a lot about World Cup as much as we can. But yeah, thank you. We'll talk next time. We'll see.